Hello students, welcome back to our economics class. In the last class, we have discussed a topic that is from 4th unit, production analysis. The topic was relationship between average cost and marginal cost. There was a particular diagram in that where MC curve cuts the MR curve from below. In starting point, they both were decreasing. Then both of them became equal, MC is equals to MR, and at final both of them started increasing. So this was the relationship between the average cost and marginal cost. Is it right? MC curve cuts the MR curve from below. This have been learnt in the last class, and today we are going to start a new fresh unit, that is unit number 5. Alright, this is all about market. Alright, you can say it as market analysis. Alright, and today's topic here is classification of markets. Classification of markets, which is a very important question as a 10 marks. Alright, so first we are going to discuss what is the definition of market. Then we are going to study briefly about the flow chart of market, like how many types the market is divided into. Then after that we are going to discuss the definition of each and every point written over here. So first let us go to the first part, that is the definition of markets. So the basic definition, the general meaning of market is, market can be defined as an area. Market can be defined as an area where forces of demand and supply, operate and determine the price. So in a market, buyer and seller will not decide the price of a commodity. I said neither the buyer nor the seller will decide the price of the commodity. I said buyer and seller, both of them will not decide the price. Then who is going to decide the price of so and so commodity or good? The price will be determined by the market forces. Which forces? Market forces, that is demand and supply. So whenever someone asks you like what are the market forces, your answer should be as simple as the market forces are demand and supply. So these demand and supply will determine the price of a commodity. Like based upon the demand in the economy, price will be decided. Based upon the supply of goods, price will be decided. So market is defined as an area. Market is defined as an area where the forces of demand and supply will determine the price of a commodity. This is the simple definition. Now let us see, according to economist, what is the actual definition of market. So according to Benham is an name of the economist. So according to Benham, market is an area where buyers and sellers have a close touch with one another. Have a close touch in the sense have contact, where the buyers and sellers meet together. Their meeting point is known as market. According to Benham, market is an area where buyers and sellers have a close touch in the sense have a direct contact, either directly or through dealers. They may meet either directly or through someone else. The persons who are in middle of a buyer and seller are called as agents, or you can say as dealers. Alright, if I want to purchase a house in some unknown area, so I'm not very much familiar with the area, so what I'll do, I'll contact the dealer of a particular area, of a particular society. He will just tell me where I can find a rented house or an own house, etc. So buyer and seller are meeting either directly or through dealers, where price in one part affect the another part. Prices of goods in one part will affect the prices in another part. For example, if you buy books from this area, the prices will be different. If you buy the books from your area, the prices will be somewhat different. Is it right? So prices in one part is affecting the prices in another part. So according to Benham, market is an area where buyers and sellers have a close touch either directly or through dealers, and prices in one part are affected in the prices of another part. So this is the definition. Like the forces of demand and supply will decide the price. Then second we have read, buyers and sellers have a close contact either directly or through dealers. Now let us see what is the flow chart of market. Like what is the classification of market? So markets are classified into three types based on competition, based on area, and based on time. Market is divided into three types based on competition, based on area, based on time. So according to competition, markets are divided into two types: perfect competition and imperfect competition. Based on competition, market is divided into two types: perfect competition and imperfect competition. Then imperfect competition is further classified into monopoly, duopoly, oligopoly, and monopolistic competition. Alright. First of all, based on competition, market is divided into two types. Please try to by heart it now itself. That is perfect and imperfect. Imperfect is further classified into monopoly, duopoly, oligopoly, and monopolistic competition. Mono means one, duo means two, oligo means more than two, monopolist means some more number of. Alright. Mono, duo, oligo, and monopolistic competition. So based on competition, divided into perfect and imperfect. Let us see based on area, markets are classified into three types, that is local area, international, and national. Markets are divided into local markets, national markets, and international markets. I hope no need to explain in brief because you are familiar with this term local, national, and international. Then based on time, it is divided into four types, that is very short period, long period, and secular period. Is that clear? Very short, long, and secular. So totally markets are classified into three types based on competition, based on area, and based on time. Here it is divided into perfect and imperfect. Imperfect is further divided into monopoly, duopoly, oligopoly, and monopolistic competition. Is that clear? Now based on area, it is classified into local market, national market, and international market. Then finally, based on time, markets are classified into four subgroups, that is very short period, long period, and secular period. So we have completed the definition as well as the flow chart. Now we'll see the brief explanation of each and every side heading. So first, market was divided based upon area. So based upon area, it is divided into three types, that is local market, national market and international market. Coming to first one, local market, the demand is restricted to a limited area. Demand is restricted to a limited area. That means whatever the commodities which are sold in local markets are having their limit up to a particular areas only. They cannot spread out their business from more area, from less area to more area. They cannot be changed. Alright. So demand is restricted to a limited area. For example, milk, vegetables, flowers, etc. Alright. So milk you will be purchasing from a particular area only. Vegetables you will be purchasing from a particular areas only. Flowers are also found in a particular area. Everywhere can you find milk, the dairy farms? You won't be finding. Everywhere can you find vegetables? No, because they are restricted to a limited area. Such kind of markets where the demand is restricted to a limited area, such kind of markets are known as local markets. For example, milk, vegetables, flowers, etc. Next, coming to national market. Demand for a commodity is spread throughout the country. That means whatever the commodities you are buying, you can buy the same product from all over India. Alright, might be you have seen India map, right? There are 29 states. So this market is spread throughout our country, throughout India. For example, rice, sugar, cloth, etc. So the demand for the commodities is extended throughout the country. Local market, demand was restricted to a limited area, and now the demand is extended throughout the country, is known as national market. National means country level. Like you might have also seen Olympics, right? National level, state level. Okay, first it will be starting from state level, then national level, then international level. State level means you can imagine that is a local market. If I say national Olympics means throughout the country. If I say international Olympics means throughout the world. Is that clear? Local market, the demand is restricted to a limited area. For national market, the demand for a commodity is extended throughout the country. Then international market, the demand for a commodity extends throughout the world. For example, gold, silver, petrol, etc. This kind of markets are known as international market. So markets are divided based on area into three types: local market, national market and international market. Local means particular limited area. National means throughout the country. International means throughout the world. Now the second part of this topic, that markets were divided based upon time. Under this we have four side headings, that is very short period, long period and secular period. Very short means the supply cannot be increased and cannot be decreased. Supply cannot be increased, it cannot be decreased, in which very short period. Is that clear? Alright. In a very short period, you can neither increase your supply, you can neither decrease your supply. How much you are producing now, you need to produce only that much. So supply cannot be changed. Supply cannot be changed in very short period. Coming to short period, supply can be changed partially. Partially means to a small extent you can change the supply, very little. Is that clear? Then long period, supply changes to fullest extent. Fullest means to its maximum level you can change the supply. In which period? Long period. Then supply can be altered in accordance to demand. Means according to demand, supply can be altered. Altered means what? Changed. Is that clear? If the demand is more in the country, I'll start producing more goods. If the demand is less in the country, I'll start bringing less goods. So based upon demand, I'll increase or decrease my supply. So this is termed as supply can be altered in accordance to demand. So very short period, supply cannot be increased and cannot be decreased. In long period, in short period, supply can be changed partially. In long period, supply can be changed to its fullest extent. Last and final is secular period. It is a very long period. It is a very long period where supply of raw materials, level of technology, volume of capital have time to alter. That means you can differ your supply of raw materials. You can either increase your raw materials, then you can change your technology, you can upgrade latest technology, then you can also change the volume of capital. How much money you are having, how much assets you are having, you can alter everything because it is a very long period. So secular period is also a very long period. So based upon area, might be you have noticed I have talked only about demand, 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 and based upon time we are saying supply, supply, supply. That means in an area, based upon the demand, okay, based upon the demand, markets are divided into local, national, international. Based on supply, the markets are divided into 4 types: very short period, long period and secular period. Now at last and final, we are going to discuss how many kinds of competition the market is divided into. So markets were classified based upon area and based on time. Based upon area, it was local market, national market and international market. Based on time, it was divided into very short period, long period and secular period. The last and final one is based upon competition. Markets are classified into 2 types, that is perfect competition and imperfect competition. Based on perfect and imperfect. Imperfect is further divided into monopoly, duopoly, oligopoly and monopolistic competition. So in short, it is perfect, imperfect. Imperfect again into 4 more parts. So what is perfect competition? According to classical economists, this type of market rarely exists. Means it does not exist in more number of times. It is very rare. Alright. Then only one price will prevail throughout the market. Throughout the market, wherever you go, you will be finding the same price for the commodity. Such kind of markets are called as perfect competition. Do you find that on every shop you find the same price for the commodity? No, it does not happen. Even small change will be there in the price. Am I right? So because of that reason, this type of market rarely exists and only one price will prevail throughout the market, that is perfect competition. Then coming to imperfect competition, that means absence of any condition of perfect competition. In short, you can say that imperfect competition is an opposite of perfect competition. So first one is monopoly. It is an opposite of perfect competition, obviously. Then the term mono means single, poly means seller. Monopoly means single seller. Only one seller will be there throughout the market. Other persons should not do any business. Only one person will have the authority to supply of goods. Only one seller is there. That kind of markets are called as monopoly. Mono means single, poly means seller. There are no close substitutes. Means if I am doing the business, then no one will be there in my competition. That means there are no close substitutes. For example, like few people use Head and Shoulder, few will use Sunskill, few will use Garnier. Alright, there are many brands. These are having substitutes, but monopoly will not have any substitute. Is it right? Monopoly will not have any substitute. Like for example, we use Ashirvad flour. Alright, Ashirvad is not having any close substitute. It is only a single seller. That is monopoly. Mono means single, poly means seller. Monopoly means single seller and there are no close substitutes. Coming to duopoly, it is a market situation. It is a market situation where there are two sellers. Duo means two, mono means one, duo means two. So there are two sellers in this market, that is called as duopoly. Coming to oligopoly, it is a market situation where there are few sellers, one seller, two seller, few sellers. Alright, last and final, monopolistic competition. This is a market situation where there are small number of sellers. Small number of seller means less number of firms. And competition will be more. Alright, when there are more number of students in a class, the competition will be less. When there are only few students in the class, they will be having more competition. In the same way, less number of firms, high competition, that is a feature of monopolistic competition. Therefore, the third part is based upon competition, perfect and imperfect. Imperfect again into monopoly, duopoly, oligopoly and monopolistic competition. This topic is little bit lengthy, but don't fear, just please write it down, learn it. Because of continuous practice, you might be getting perfect in this topic. So see you in the next classes with some more interesting topic. Till that, stay healthy, stay safe and never stop practicing.